Welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things, the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit. I am Mia.
And I'm Christie, and you can consider us your spiritual tour guides for the next hour. All right, so last week we talked about spiritual guides, and in case you haven't heard or had a chance to listen, or if this is a new concept to you, so just a quick definition of spirit guides is a spiritual energy or collection of energies that acts as a guide or protector to all living beings. And so this is, we're starting to get into it, but we didn't want to get too deep. But this could include archangels, ascended masters, loved ones, guardian angels, and spirit animals. And so the most important thing to remember is that we all have access to them. And honestly, they just really want to be a part of our lives. We have to give the permission. Honestly, we just have to acknowledge them and invite them in, and it's just that simple.
I mean, it can't get any simpler. Just think about it. You got a squad waiting for you, and get there quicker than your girls can. Okay, so today, we're going to talk about the law of attraction, and how it truly plays out in our lives day to day. So the idea is basically that whatever you think about, you bring about, whether that be positive thoughts or negative thoughts. So if you embrace the idea that our thoughts and our feelings are energy, think about emotions are energy in motion.
Yeah, I like
so that. Energy attracts like energy. So basically it's what I'm putting out there, I'm receiving. So it's a very similar concept to manifesting, but manifesting, I think, is just much more intentional and specific when you're trying to manifest something. But since we are creators of our life, this is just one way to think about the fact that we have access and power over our lives. Did I turn off my phone? Okay. Now, but I want to back this up a little bit. There's one other thing I want to say. The concept of the law of attraction, the good thing about this is it works in your life whether you believe it or not. And we can show you, and we'll talk about how even when you're not thinking about it, even if you don't believe in it, how what you're thinking about is coming into your life. So let's get into this. So we talk about the power to create our own reality, right? So where do we even begin with that? What does that mean? And why? And what do you think, Christy, are the most powerful things we have at our disposal to create our reality?
You all should see our setup because my mic decided not to work, and so we're using one mic because we're trying to keep to the schedule. But you should see this back and forth. It is hilarious. It's funny. I'm sorry. But as far as what I think is the most powerful thing that we have to create our reality is, I'm going to say our mind. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is just changing our perception towards things and changing the way that we view things. Because I think all too often we're caught in this life of like the present and what we're supposed to do, be good people, have careers, have a family, but there's more to this life. There's more, I feel like, responsibility that we have for each other. But yeah, honestly, it starts with the mind. I'm sorry, I feel like I got off a little bit.
So we need to. I totally agree, and I think that's the kind of the concepts that your thoughts become something tangible, and so I think one of the best ways when we think about creating in our own lives is to select our thoughts the same way you select your clothes. You get up in the morning, and it's like, okay, how am I feeling today? What's my look? Where am I going? Whatever that is, it's an intentional choice. So the good thing is that this is a power that we can cultivate. If you want to control things in your life, then work on your mind. And that's what Christy was saying. Like, that's one of the most powerful things that we have at our disposal is our mind. So if that's the only thing you can control, obviously we should be controlling it. Right.
Right.
I said what I said, but the thing is that it's not really that difficult. So let's talk about controlling your thoughts, Christy. Let's talk about that.
Okay. So this is so funny, and I definitely have a personal story to share, but one of the reasons that this idea is often met with resistance from people is because you can't stop yourself from thinking thoughts. I mean, you can, but it takes time. But for most of us, it's automatic. A lot of people struggle to understand how to have control over their thoughts, their visions, actually reframe the thought so anything can be seen from different ways. So, For instance, I was with someone, and I'm going to try to keep this, I was with someone for a long period of time, and things became physically violent. And not only physically violent, but also verbally violent. And I was called, I say A to Z, I was called everything under the sun. And after we separated, I actually had to recondition my mind and say, okay, I am not this, I am that. I am not this, I am that. And this is who I am, and this is who I own, and I don't own that other stuff. And I didn't realize it, but I was creating these affirmations by basically saying, I am this. And I surrounded myself with positive thoughts. I only surrounded myself with positive people. And I look at my posts from years ago, and it's nothing about, it's just positive stuff, like positive vibes. It's always been like that. But that helped me as far as controlling my thoughts.
Here's the thing though, guys. So I think when we talk about controlling your thoughts, if you think about it, you were controlling your thoughts when you were allowing what he was saying to you become your thoughts. So it's like you're already allowing it in. So it's like, since we're already allowing thoughts in and giving them power over how we view ourselves, we might as well just take control of it. And so the reason that the thoughts are, and I think this is why a lot of people are put in positions where they try to hurt themselves, because thoughts just don't stop at thoughts. So thoughts become beliefs, and then beliefs comes action. It's like you think about it, you believe it, and then you act in that way. So if someone is telling you that that you're ugly, or that you're not worth anything, and you're a waste of breath and air and all these things, even if it's hurtful and that they're wrong, but if you keep replaying that in your head, you start to believe that. And then sometimes we make decisions unconsciously that fit that description, and that's not even who we are. Like, we've just allowed a thought of somebody else's words to become our thought, to become our belief, to become who we are, just like that.
Can I say something? I'm going to pull the mic real quick to myself. But I think, what you're saying is so true. And I think a lot of times, even when we get to a point where you start to believe your own lie, you know that? I feel like that's the same type of, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's like the same type of, it's the same type of mind fuck. When you start to believe your own lies, I feel like that's the same, whatever path they take to get to you, that's the exact same path for that.
So, okay. So that's why I think that, so how do you reframe it? How do you stop and say, okay, so Chrissy's talking about how you just started using positive affirmations. And one of the things I think is when we're talking visioning exercises, honestly, just if you can create a mental image, a visual in your head of who you want to be and who you believe you are and what your life can be, you have taken so many steps forward in a different direction. That's the importance of, think about it. Hey, I got one even better for you. Think about why companies pay so much money to advertise, because they're putting a visual in your head. So, and the best type of advertising are ones that evoke an emotional response out of you. So now I'm looking at something an advertiser has created it in a way that now it resonates with my life. And so now when I think about my life, I have this picture of what I'm supposed to have in it because of what I'm allowing in my life. So that's my diet. That's my media diet. Social media does a number on us, y'all.
Yes, it does.
Because now we're creating images and starting to compare ourselves, and this person is doing this and this person is doing that. I mean,
trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses, but we often the true manipulation of us. We don't even know that we're being tricked into the stuff. It just becomes a part of what and who we believe we are because we're seeing it. And that's why, I'm just going to really quickly, standing on my political, that's why it's so important for people, and I'm going to say in particular Black people, we understand how important it is to control our image. When people show us images over and over and over again that that we're violent and criminal and all these things, if before you know who you are, if that's what you're exposed to, that's what you become. Because that's what I believe that I am, because I keep saying, then we continue to perpetuate that. So the idea of being able to stand in your I am and control your thoughts, we need to be teaching our babies this early. Like real talk, for real. Stand in the mirror, make them tell you who they are, And so another way I think is when we lessons. So reframing our lessons that we get in life. A bad situation, a relationship that didn't go the way we wanted to. You get fired from a job. There's all yes, that immediate pain is there, but then when you start looking at where you are compared to where you have been and how much smarter you are, I don't care if somebody gives you a book of knowledge from everything on earth. That doesn't mean anything until there's some experience behind it. There is something about experience that turns knowledge into wisdom.
Yep. That is so true.
And only life can teach you that.
Okay, so then as far as the importance of being intentional, I think a lot of times, this is part of the process. So what I found, and this is just from my personal experience, is that when I allow other people's thoughts of who they believe me to be, and I accept them and I receive them and I approve of them and I take them as my own, I realize that I'm oblivious. I'm oblivious. Like, I'm just not aware of anything that I'm thinking but then when you set the intention, you are focused and you are saying, like, okay, regardless of what you think of me, this is what, I'm setting the intention to say that, no, this is who I am. Whatever you say, that's you, but my intention is I'm standing firm and I believe that this is who I am.
But see, what happens with that is when you're intentional about who you believe you are, that's a thought that becomes a belief that becomes an action. So now you have set in place your worth and your value. So now you're making decisions with who you allow in your life, what you do with your life, your intake, your output, based on the image of who you believe you are. And if you believe that you are ascended from royalty, a master creator, and you have the divine in you, you're going to live your life like that, period, point blank. But if you believe you are less than, that there's somebody else that can save you or create you, and you're waiting for something to happen to you, that's how you live your life.
Yep. In constant wait.
And allowing people just pour in your cup to create you.
So, something along the lines of that is a person so I know someone who is very tight with money. And because they are so tight with money, they're always going to be tight with money because they don't, their fist is constantly tight and it doesn't allow for things to come in and for him to receive. And so because his fist is so tight, holding on to what he currently has, nothing can come in. And so he's in constant lack. And so, again, this ties into the law of attraction. So what we put out is what we're going to get. Even think about our friends, think about the boyfriends we date, think about the jobs. We attract those things into our life.
And honestly, just like our emotions and feelings, and money is energy as well.
Yes. A lot of people don't realize that.
Money is energy. So if you're thinking about, and I know I've said this a billion times before, but if you're thinking about money from the perspective of what I don't have, you're going to continue or create a situation where you don't have. Or if you're sitting around, like especially during this time, it's so hard for us to spiral. Because we don't know what tomorrow looks like. The world is shifting and changing so hard, and everybody's feeling it on so many different levels, emotionally, physically, socially, financially. So if you allow yourself to spiral and you start having a lack or a scarcity mindset, like, oh my goodness, I got to hold on to this because this may be all I have, then that's all you're going to have. That's all you're going to have. They're like, okay, fine, keep that, but no more for you.
Right.
But that's because that's how you were so tight with what you have, instead of thinking like, this is mine, I deserve it, and I got more coming. You cramping up?
No, I was gonna get some wine.
Here. She's trying to move her chair, move her chair all softly.
And I was making a face. She was like, "Are you cramping?"
Right. You know that surprise Charlie horse?
Yeah. No, I'm just a lush.
Just lushing it.
I'm an evening lush. I'm just getting out my chair to try and get this wine. But yeah, my posterior is chained from today.
Hot. So where? Oh, okay. So, here's another way to think of it. Seriously, and I want us to. I really want to illustrate to our listeners and to ourselves, that is good. How she is having a moment, yo.
Woo!
Should I leave the room?
Oh my
you need a
gosh.
moment? Do you need a moment, sis?
This wine is so good.
Oh my god. So, how the law of attraction works on our lifelong daily. Let's say you meet Christy, you meet a new guy. He's awesome. He is, on you like white on rice, chivalrous. Just sit and listen, Christy. Johnny on the spot. Says all the right things, and like things that you always want. Somebody wants to hear, like, I choose you.
Oh, yes.
I'm intentional about this. All of this, and then we may not have experienced attention like that, so we're taken aback and we say something like, damn, why me? Or no one's ever treated me like this before. So that's your thought process, right? And then you say that out loud, and then so now we are basically retraining somebody who was
she's no good because she's talking about me.
I am.
She is talking all about me.
I am just.
Thank you, Mia.
I was not going to name any names, sis. I was just wanted to point out that sometimes we self-sabotage because we are retraining somebody who comes in ready to everything you ask for, and we're just like, oh my goodness, you manifested this energy in your life, and they were like, well, why are you doing that? So then we tell them, I've never had anybody treat me like this. They're like, oh, well, shit, why should I? I'm just saying. So that is why.
Okay, whatever. Boo on you.
I'm just thinking.
Okay, so that's bold. So I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Just a quick pivot, and we can blame the sangria on this. So, how is someone gonna sit next to you and talk about you, about your business to the world as they sit next to you? Like, how bold is that? Like, for real. But it's okay. I love her. But that's kind of messed up. So
every opportunity is a teachable moment.
Oh my God.
Today I was just your mirror. You have been.
Think about it. And you're sitting next to someone as they talk about your shit. Like, for real. Damn.
You exposed it.
Man.
I
did expose it. I just had to. I was just like, how are you that bold? Look, I had to call her out because I'm like, really?
Girl, you told me alley-oop. You told me alley-oop.
She was like,
that's an excellent point. We need to talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's bring this back. Shit. But that's fucked up. So,
go ahead.
So as far as creating boundaries to protect your thinking, I have done that. Oh my goodness. I would say within the last 10 years, I started learning this. there are just some people that I can't hang out with because they have my thinking, at a low point. Or I just start thinking like, I don't like getting caught up in that, oh, well, I have to do this and I have to carry this. And I do like nice things, though. We talked about that. But I do like nice things. But I don't get caught up in it. So I refrain from hanging with certain people.
Well, okay. But the other ways, even with people and relationships. Ooh, and that's something else that came up, too. But hold on. I can't watch scary movies.
She's a savage.
I'm a sweet savage. Nobody knew. So, for instance, scary movies. I can't do scary movies. That's me protecting because I know I can't unsee
all day, every day.
Oh my God, I can't. I can't shake it. So
I was born and raised on scary movies.
Oh, it's so good. Just the thought.
My father had 3 girls, so he took us to see all this aliens, Jaws, everything.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Night of the Living Dead.
Oh no, ma'am, yes. Pam, absolutely fuck not.
I love horror and I love gore.
I can't.
Give it to me.
But that's me creating boundaries to protect my thinking.
Yeah.
Like real talk. And sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you, when you getting your masters in controlling your thoughts, that is delicious. When sometimes you have to cut people off in your life, or it's not necessarily cut them off, it's just pivot just in terms of how much you allow people in your life.
I don't give people a lot of time, not these days. Sorry.
But when you get to the point where I don't even feel the need to explain why not, because oftentimes when we get to the point, especially when we're dealing with relationship stuff, when we want to tell them, I'm done talking to you, and this is that and the third. Honestly, if we're being true to ourselves, we're telling them that because we want them to make good on it. We want them to change our mind. Because when you for real done, silence, ghost move. I said what?
She better not be talking to me.
No, I'm talking about me right now. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, baby.
That sounds like another side.
When I tell you, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, I think this is the best way to do it. I don't know. I just know. That's just what I do, and when I get to, I don't want to argue. I'm not going to explain myself. I'm tired.
She's tired.
I'm tired, and I'm just not. But that's also me protecting my thinking and being honest with myself about where I am.
Okay, so this concept of influencers, times in life you recognize. So what are some times in life you recognize?
But think about it. Social media is all about influencers.
Social media is all about influencers.
And I'm not hating on nobody getting their checks.
No. But sometimes I kind of look at it like, okay, this sounds so crazy, but I pretend like I'm an alien, right? And then I come on to Earth.
You pretend, huh?
I pretend. And then I'm looking at this person's page like, oh, that's odd. Why are they moving their body like that? They look like they're jiggling and shaking and they're smiling, and why are they giving the googly eyes?
Okay, but think about it. Seriously.
Sometimes I look at the page, it's like, okay, I don't get it.
What are the messages that you're sending?
Yeah, like why do we do that? Because I talked about this all the time, like ultimately a lot of the stuff that people do is because they just want to be loved
and seen and feel worthy, and unfortunately and fortunately, fortunately and fortunately, that all starts with ourselves. But this is the point though. The concept of an influencer and why people are able to make so much money being an influencer is because that's mind control. So, and again, there's science to this. And mind you, I have worked in marketing, so I'm not poo-pooing on the industry because I'm just telling you that it works. There's real science to this. If you're trying to get a message across to a certain type of person, you find out their likes, their demographics, how much money they make, all of these things, and you send messages from people who look and act like them, who they relate to. That's how influencers work. So again, I am paying and putting in time and energy and science and people and resources to reframing your thought about what you need in your life, who you are, and how this company A or company B can provide you what you want. So that's why I said that this is the beautiful thing about the law of attraction. Even when you're not paying attention, understand that it's working anyway.
Yes.
Even when you're not thinking that you're attracting something in. So that's why we have to be careful about what it is that we, allow in our life. And, protect your thinking. But if this wasn't a real thing, no companies would be spending as much money and time into getting your attention and controlling your thoughts. Because your thoughts become your belief becomes your action.
Can I say something?
No, you cannot.
So as I pass the mic back, so one of the things that I think about is like, how do we set intentions and how do we do this? Like, how do we work towards this place where we're able to shift our mind and believe, not even believe, but begin to just live and approve and accept what we're now saying we are and who we are and what we want to be and how we want to design our lives. For me, meditation has helped a lot, and I feel like every time I get on this podcast, I talk about meditation, and for years I ran from it because honestly I thought it was of the devil, and I'm for real. I'm for real. She's raw tonight, like for real. Next show is gonna be in 30 minutes. I thought it was gonna be like, I thought she was done, but no, she is on a roll this evening. It's okay.
Okay, I'm okay.
It's okay. I don't forgot.
So go ahead. No, you were talking about.
I'm drinking the sangria. Oh my goodness, the sangria is the bomb.
Wait, Christy, stop. No, what were you just talking about? Yeah, I can't.
I think we forgot.
Okay, my brain.
Our brain. I think we forgot.
No, we were talking about like, how do you reframe it? Like when you're going through it, how do you stop and be intentional with your thoughts?
Meditation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Affirmations. And for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you probably see like these when I take pictures in the mirror in my back room. I have Post-it notes around my mirror, and it says like affirmations, like things that I want to believe or things that I want to say or things that I know is true about myself, but then I don't always tell it to myself. So I see it, when I'm in the mirror. So for those of you who know me, if you've seen those photos or videos, you'll see those Post-its. But yeah, definitely affirmation. So meditation, affirmation, and honestly, sometimes I would speak out like, no, I am this. This is who I am. I am.
So, I love I am.
Yes, she does.
I love a good I am. I think it starts with becoming aware of the fact that you are truly creating your reality with your thoughts. So now that you have the awareness of it, just start thinking about, like, real talk. Just start thinking about what you've attracted into your life. And I hate to take it always back to relationships, but it's just something I know everybody can relate to. If you've ever been in a situation where you feel like, why do I keep attracting the same type of person? And you're just like, what is it?
Yeah.
And if you are constantly thinking about the type of person that you don't want to attract, like, I know I don't want this, then that's exactly what you're going to attract.
I'm telling you, y'all, sometimes I attract people in like wheelchairs. No, I'm for real. Like, I attract the people with no teeth. I'm for real.
What you thinking about, sis? Can we talk about this?
No, I'm for real. Like, I attract those kind of people, and I think that they see my heart, like I'm sweet, and I'll talk to them. But those are I don't attract.
Well, real talk, healers often attract people that need healing.
See, there she goes talking about me again.
No, I'm speaking from dead ass experience. That is, and oftentimes, empath. If you're an empath, you're gonna I guarantee you, if you're an empath and you listen to this, you have dated some narcissists. I'm sorry, I had to bite down. Just yes. For real. I'm just
my gosh.
Are you okay? But seriously, it's gonna be okay.
Oh.
So the big thing is, I think, being aware that you do have this power, and just think about patterns in your life, something that you're questioning, why is it always happening like this, and start thinking about how you think about whatever that is in your life. It's a process, but it definitely works. And shoot, start off small, test yourself, play with it.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's how people start becoming like true manifestors. When they really understand, like, oh shoot, I'm telling you, when you hit that sweet spot where you're like, oh, for real, like, I for real can control this. Oh, watch out. Watch out there now.
Watch out there now. I was over here dying, laughing. Oh my gosh. But no, that's so true. Once we realize, and honestly, I've been playing around with it too. Like, I've been playing around with it for, I would say the last 6-7+ months, since last year, November. And I kind of played with it, but then before I was just like, oh, that's of the devil. I shouldn't be doing that.
I gotta know, where did you get that idea from? I giggled a little bit, but I'm very curious.
But I think it happens just culturally. I was born and raised in let me make sure I'm saying this right, in a Protestant church. No, Pentecostal. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Pentecostal. I knew I was going to have it wrong. Pentecostal church. And so there are just certain things that you're kind of taught that is okay and not okay, and I guess that stuff has never been okay.
But I'm dead serious. I'm curious as to what was the learnings that you received in terms of what the difference between prayer and meditation was. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you were taught to pray, right? So what's the difference? As you were taught.
Right. So as I was taught, when you pray, you pray for something, and of course you want to always give thanks, but when you pray, you're also kind of putting your petition out and asking for something in return. For me, that's a prayer.
Okay.
For meditation, you are sitting there with you can have intentions, but for me, like, I already have my intentions set. Like, I feel like they're already set. I don't necessarily, I'll write them down, but I don't necessarily need to, like, meditate and this is what I'm going to intend for today. But I meditate, and so I just allow myself to be free and allow my spirit guides to talk to me, and I'll receive messages, and I will just breathe and just...
No, but I want to know, before you embrace the idea of meditating, what were you taught that meditation was bad? Like, that it was of the devil? Like, where did that idea come from?
Oh, for me, doing research.
Really? I'm asking seriously, because I've actually never heard anybody say that. I was just curious, what is the difference between, what the thought is between meditating, because you may not be putting out a petition or asking for something. Go ahead.
So with meditation, there was one article that I read that, said that meditation is, for Christians, it's not a good thing because it allows other spirits to come in. Because you open yourself up through meditation, and that's when different spirits can come in.
But if you open yourself up through different spiritual energy when you say that you open yourself up to spiritual energy, you know what I mean? If you're intentional about that, I was just curious. Okay, that makes sense to me. I was just like, what's the difference? Okay. So what are we? So I think so. Here's the big takeaways.
We're almost at 35 minutes.
Oh, we might actually be able to get this done in less than an hour, guys. So, quick takeaways. Your mind is a powerful thing. So, whether or not you fill it with the positive thoughts or negative thoughts, just know that it is so. You know what I mean? So, and because, and hopefully, if there are people who aren't thinking about it in this way, just think about how much power we've given over to entities outside of ourselves to control what we think about ourselves and our life. We create a vision. Like, how do we know what what cars is the best car to buy, and what everybody likes is because we listen to what everybody tell us. So you may look at one car and be like, I really like this car, but everybody's like, no, you should get the whatever, and you go do something that everybody's telling you should do because that's what everybody's doing. That literally is giving your power over to somebody else. So stop and think about how often you've allowed that to happen in your life and how easy it is for you to stop that and just start thinking for yourself. That's my biggest takeaway for that. What would you say, Christy?
So I would say that you have been programmed. And, I mean, that's one of the reasons why... Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't watch TV. That's one of the reasons why I don't look at the paper. I don't watch the news.
That's how I feel about horror movies. It's all the same to me.
I mean, for me, horror movies,
especially in Chicago.
Horror movies for me is entertainment because now I watch it as an adult and I was like, oh my gosh, his brains wouldn't blow. Right. They wouldn't blow out of his head like that. Come on, that was so stupid. That wasn't even scary. I mean, that's how I look at stuff now. Like, it's entertainment, but you have been programmed. So I don't watch TV. I don't look at the news. I don't have papers. I occasionally most often get my news from people like Mia or someone at the gym. Or I'm like, wait, what?
What happened?
Who? Or, a friend of mine will send me an update like, well, this is what's happening in your, neighborhood or in your gym. I'm like, are you serious? But because I don't allow myself those things because I do feel that they program you. I mean, that's why they television program. Anyway. But, so you have been programmed. So a lot of us have to go through a period of where we're conscious of it. We understand it, and then we start to deprogram ourselves. And it's going to be different for everyone. For me, I've kind of isolated myself. I don't share my time with a lot of people who don't share the same... Yes. Go, Mary. Hey. But that's why I'm very picky with who I spend my time with because I'm very intentional with that.
So the thought is protect yourself. Be very intentional and aware of what you allow in your aura, in your sphere. So that's relationships. That's what you intake from media, social media, TV, radio, podcasts. Just to be mindful of what it is that you're intaking. It's just you have to think about it. You can't be comfortable in life without your own approval. So you're always going to be chasing an uncomfortable when you are allowing somebody to set what the standard is for who you are.
You set the standard yourself.
You set your standard. That's between you and you. That's a whole realized conversation between you and your damn self. Can she say something, y'all?
Please. Please, I'm Paul. I'm Paul. May I have the mic, please? This sangria, I'm sorry, it's so good. What were you saying?
You said, can I say something, please?
What were you saying before that?
I was saying about being comfortable with, your own approval, like setting your own standards, as opposed to allowing external entities to set standards for you. Yep, she's gone.
Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say.
So while she's thinking about that, I'm going to get into... It's going to come back to her, y'all. She said, hey, it depends on the day. We'll see. You might hear about this next week. Temple work.
Yes.
So today, we were at the gym last week. We told, we were talking about just taking care of your body, and in honor of kind of reframing your thoughts. Christy was talking about how she has, what do you call it, your Post-its on your mirror, and I think that is honestly one of the best things that you can do for yourself in terms of when you're first trying to kind of reframe your thoughts and take some control over your thoughts and mind and starting to replay that tape. Like, if you've been playing that tape over and over again about what you're not and what you wish you were, it's just time to stop that and start talking about what you are.
Yeah.
Instead of what you aren't.
Can I say something?
No. You remember now? Okay, hurry. Before she forgets, y'all.
But I mean, as far as like remembering who you are, I think a lot of times because life for us becomes so like robotic and so monotonous, and we do it every day, and it's the same thing with our thoughts. And so those affirmations for me pull me out of that state of, just, it's time to get ready for work and it's time to figure out what shoes I'm going to wear. I look at the mirror and I see my affirmations like, I am X, Y, and Z. It reminds me like, okay, it's pulling it in. And for me, it's like, it's present. It's there. Like, and it kind of pulls me out of that whole robotic trance. And
it's a reprogramming.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a reprogramming because think about it. That's one of the first things you do in the morning. I'm a big fan of people of making your bed in the morning. First thing you do, getting out the bed, making your bed, because it's like you have this. You've accomplished something. Even if I'll tell you this, even if I don't get a chance to make my bed, if it's because my daughter is in my bed, I don't know why, because she has her own whole bed. But anyway, that's a whole another story. Then I won't get into it. It could be like I'm going to bed and my bed's not made. I'm not getting in that bed without it being. I will make my bed like right then. Yes, I know it's. I just now it's just inbred in me. But just talking about framing your day, how you start your day. So it's like, okay, turn around, make your bed. Now you've accomplished something. You've accomplished something immediately. But when you go into your bathroom, brush your teeth, wash your face, whatever that you do, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you have a physical reminder of what it is that you're programming and reminding yourself of who the fuck you are, is an awesome way to start your day because that sets the tone. So anytime during the day, if you put on there, I am worthy and I am deserving of all that I desire. And that's just, hey, that's what I have on there. Whatever those affirmations are, whatever you need to, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am loved. Whatever it is that we're struggling with, that we need to read, that we're worthy of love. I know there's a lot of people who are struggling with that. Reframing that, putting it on your mirror. Reframing it, starting your day. But so now when you're met with a message that is different and opposite from what you've told yourself who you are, you don't take it in. You don't soak that in. You're like, deflection, boop, no, I'm worthy. Fuck y'all. I don't care what you're talking about. But starting your day like that. So I want you to think about whatever it is that you need. Put it on your mirrors. For real.
Yeah. Okay, and something that I did want to say is... Well, I'm going to speak for myself, but I'm going to say that I still have struggles with things. There are still things that, I want different, or, things that I want to improve upon, or things that I wish I needed or wanted and didn't have. And yes. I still struggle. Look, behind the scenes, it's a shit show. It's not a horrible shit show. It's actually kind of a good show.
It's a good show. You're having a good time.
It's a fun show.
Don't tell yourself.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a fun show. Okay, it's a fun show. But I will say that it just I forgot what I was.
And then y'all, she think we about to edit this. She got another motherfucking thing.
No, I'm not editing it. Oh yeah. Here's the mic, Mia.
You guys, clearly Christy is having a great day. When we get off this, I need to know what happened today. So, again, guys, reframing, visioning your life, starting with what's inside of your own freaking head. Honestly, can this shit be any easier? Like, what the fuck? You don't have to talk to anybody, do anything. It's all in your head. Start there. Easy part. Now, Christy is going to talk about, hopefully, Christy, you're going to talk about our crystal of the day.
Promise.
Okay. It's a dope crystal, y'all. It's one of the reasons she over here giggling because I got a nice little piece of this in my living room right now. Okay, she's ready. Okay. Today.
Can you pass it to me, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, so much wonderful energy. So you guys will have to forgive me. Yes, I've been drinking sangria. That may be the cause for the giggleness, but no, I will say that. So I brought some smoky quartz, and she has this amazing. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she has a 6-pointed quartz tower, smoky quartz tower, and it has this amazing energy on it. And it feels good. Like I've been smiling since I've been here because I honestly I feel good. So smoky quartz, if you all have been listening every week, this will make our third quartz on the podcast. So, just want you guys to think about that. There's a little hint there. Maybe quartz is good to have on hand.
Maybe quartz is a thing.
Maybe it's a thing.
We'll figure out how to get y'all some of that.
But it's a type of quartz which is a silicon dioxide mineral. It has a Mohs hardness of 7, and it can vary in color from a very pale tan to a deep chocolate brown. And we actually have a couple of samples here. At some point, we may or may not start. I did take pictures. Okay. They're on our page. But at some point, I don't know, we may or may not start a video. We'll see. But it comes in just a variety of colors. And the color comes from this radiation. And so clear quartz can be made smoky artificially. So be mindful of this, because for me, I will say that the energy does feel different if it's artificially done and not done naturally.
Really, how can you tell the difference,
Like for some, I think I only have one crystal that I don't necessarily resonate with. Like whenever I have it around, it just keeps me up. I can't go to sleep. I feel like and I don't want to say the crystal name because I don't want people to be like, oh, I'm never going to touch that crystal again. But it's different for everybody. Some people resonate with it and other people don't. And I just don't. But it kept me up all night when I got it. But smoky quartz it's a well-known grounding stone, but this isn't the reason why I chose the stone. So the reason why I chose this stone, and it actually just came to me, I guess the spirit guides told me to use it.
If you say the word transmute that I'm looking at right now, we can girl.
Yes, yes, transmute. So, it offers protection from one's environment, but it can also transmute energy. So if you have negative energy on you, or you're taking on someone else's energy, or you just feel like crap that day, it'll take that energy and it will turn it around. It'll actually make it it'll ground it, and then it'll just encompass you in just positive, good vibes. And for me, whenever I know that I'm waking up in a funk, this is one of the crystals that I carry. I even put it in my bra.
Okay.
Or I'll just carry it in my pocket if I know that I'm in a funk. And I can't really think of the last time I've been in a funk, like
more than a right.
Like all day.
I mean, sorry. Really quick, the good thing about smoky quartz, especially when we're talking about the law of attraction and controlling your energy and how what you're feeling and you're thinking, is when you start to feel. So we have these tools available to us, right? So when you start to feel like you're spiraling, you wake up in the morning, you stub your toe, your nail polish chips, what you need to wear needs to be ironed. You're running late. All these things and you can
twisted natural hair doesn't
come out right. Stuff. Y'all know how it is. The hair, especially when the hair is not acting right. You're running late, haven't had a chance to get anything to eat, and you need to stop that energy that you're taking in. It's like stop that vibration and shift it. This is a great crystal for that. Yep. It's like, stop, hold on. And then also having the awareness that I don't have to take this with me throughout the rest of the day. This just happened at this moment, and I'm going to move forward from them. But sometimes we need a little help with our energy, and it's a great stone for that. I keep this one that she was talking about. I keep it in my
I love it so much.
In my living room, and I'm telling you, people often when they come in my living room, they're always like, "Oh my goodness, the energy in here feels so good." This is definitely one of the reasons why the energy feels so good in here. But go ahead, you're about to talk about spiritual properties.
So smoky quartz, it has a way of drawing ethereal into manifestation. So think about helps bringing ones into dreams, like inspired ideas into physical reality. So things that you really want or desire for your life. Working with the smoky quartz, and when I say working, I'm mostly talking about meditating with it or carrying it with you. Working with it will allow you to take things that you dream of, things that you desire, and it will actually come into the physical. And so when you wear smoky quartz, it is also said by those who are very well respected in the crystal community that one will more likely see spiritual entities because it draws this energy into a person's work field for those who wear it. So I can't speak to that. I don't know if you can speak to that, Mia, but what's your experience?
Well, I told you, for me, it's definitely the transmutation of. So I don't, remember we were talking about what we allow in our lives, protecting ourselves. So I don't want negative energy in my shit. So I've definitely used this to make sure, even if I bring in some negativity in my home, this helps to clear it out. And also, like I have above my door one of the stones you talked about, selenite.
Oh, selenite.
I do. Look, I'm like, I have my home protected. Yes. Protect that energy. But yes, that's how I do have. But you saying that, I do have a very dope smoky quartz necklace that I have made that I need to wear. I haven't worn it in a while. So thank you for reminding me of that. Yes,
you should wear that. But as far as so the interesting thing is, and I don't know if you have the same experience, but with my crystals, they say crystals are like little people, and they each have their own personality. So I develop relationships with my crystals, and so there are some crystals that I know that I'm going to work with on a regular basis, and there are some crystals that I know that I only work with on certain occasions. So there are some crystals that I meditate with. And then there are some crystals that I carry with me, but they're not really the same, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it depends on what you need it for at that time. I get that. It depends on what you need it for at that time. But there's a picture of it on our IG page. It's a beautiful stone. And you have tumbled raw points. You guys are going to like it. Okay. So I'm going to have... Christy has her oracle card with her. I'm going to do a quick message, then we're going to end with Christy giving us picking a card for the collective. So this morning in meditation, this is the message I got for the collective. Okay, so we are 8 months into 2020, and we're asked to be gentle, but actually just to be in amazement of how much we've grown during this time. What we're learning and what we're learning during this time, especially because of COVID, is that time is truly a social construct. It's purely here to help us track growth and evolution. Mm-hmm. So when we're talking about 8 months, it's like, okay, that gives us an opportunity, a timeline per se, to look back and track how much we've grown. For those who are working and putting in the work and working hard to know who they are, and more importantly, to know who they want to be and create who they want to be in this new order, Spirit is proud of you. How much we've become detached from our ego and attached to our soul. Keep moving forward. We can live in this world in full consciousness that you are a spiritual being with a purpose, and that your full ability and responsibility is to create life. Okay? And yes, it's an awesome responsibility, but also one of the most freeing bits of wisdom that you can truly embrace. The power you have to create your freaking life. Okay? But most of all, we're asked to be grateful, you guys. Truly and honestly, I know for a fact, I don't care where you are, what you've been through, I promise you're not the same person you were January 2020, okay? And we're asked to oftentimes when we start to open ourselves to our journey and we're starting to understand who we are and really accept and embrace the divinity in us, for some of us grown people, we feel like, oh, I'm late with this. But Spirit doesn't want you to see the life through the eyes of, if I knew what I know now, is because, thinking about you would be someplace else. Because the truth of the matter is you wouldn't be where you are right now if you knew then what you know now. The knowledge without experience is different. And there is an awareness, and I said this earlier, that comes with the experiences. When we say, if I knew then what I knew now, there's an assumption that we'd be further along and the world would be able to skip the failures or mistakes. And the failures are a freaking blessing.
Yeah.
Those are the real lessons. You don't want to skip that, but we feel like we do because we want to skip the pain.
It's painful.
And the lessons are truly life-giving, y'all. So if you look back and recognize, just look at it like this. All the lessons, all the pain, you still fucking here. So guess what that means? Your bounce back rate is 100%. So for all you data people, look at the numbers. You still here.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. You have a bounce back rate of 100%. So release the shame of your mistakes, y'all. And this is a great crystal for this message, by the way. Past and present. Okay? So when we allow ourselves to truly live for ourselves and make our decisions using our internal guidance as opposed to making decisions based on what they'll think or what we believe they will think, and I'm air quoting they because who the hell is they? Then that is truly living in your sovereignty. Believe and embrace the notion that you have everything you need and there is no flaw in you, sis. It all starts within. All right, Chrissy, give us a word.
Well, I don't know how to come after that. I mean, I feel like I feel like she needs some snaps, a tip, a split.
That's what the guys want y'all to know.
It's kind of hard to come after that one. But
wait now, hold on.
I said a split.
Oh, darn. Okay.
A split, not a spliff, not a spliff.
I'm sorry. Continue. What you got for us, sis?
You guys, she made me this way. So the funny thing is, like, anything that deals with reading or cards, I'm just like, oh, Mia. But she was like, oh, you're gonna pick the cards today. I was like, oh, okay. Yes. So she kind of pushes me.
I'm not letting her run from her gift, y'all.
I mean, you know, this part. The other stuff, okay, but anyway, so I went ahead and I pulled 2 cards, 2 actually really great cards. And so the first card...
what they got for us?
So the first card is Kuthimi, and it represents your life currently right now. And the card represents a cloak of wisdom. And basically the message that goes with this card is you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know.
Let's get that diddly. We love Tony Baker. If y'all do not know who Tony Baker is, he's a comedian, but his IG account literally
hilarious.
Brings joy.
I mean, it's so funny.
Okay, go.
But no, I think a lot of us do have a tendency to not trust ourselves and to not, trust what we know. Sometimes we just know, but then it's like, oh, well, no. He would never do that, or I would never expect her to do that, or think that. But it's like, we know. And then when shit hits the fan, it's like, oh, yeah, I knew it. But anyway.
So they said, trust what you know.
Trust what you know. So, Cloak of Wisdom, we all have it. You have access to it. Just do not allow yourself to be distracted. Honestly, and you guys I've already talked about watching TV and stuff, but as far as being distracted, meditation has been one of the things that has helped me as far as, guidance. And I don't really know how to explain it. At some point we will have to, but that has helped me, but I'm not sure about how it's helped you. But the second card is the Miriam, and it's Sacred Vision. And so this card represents what to do about it. And so the small, what to do about, what's currently going on in your life. Because you already know the answer you seek. And so what you need to do about it is to forgive in order to heal. I think I might need to say that again for the people in the back.
No, seriously, y'all. That's the thing.
Choose to forgive in order to heal. That's big.
Yeah. Okay, I got something to say about that real fast. I know everyone has heard the concept, forgive. It's not really for you. It's not for them. It's for you. And when you are angry and hurt with someone, the thought of that is just like, what? how is me forgiving going to help me? You know what I mean? Because we feel like that means that we're absolving the person of how they have wronged us, and that's not what that means.
No.
It's like the only way I can say this is just like you have a skillet on the what do you call that thing, the stove, and you're picking it up to throw it at them, got hot grits. You're picking it up to throw it at the person, but you are burning your hand in the meantime. So you're going to get them, but you're burning yourself in the meantime. So the forgiveness is, I'm not about to burn my damn self to hurt you.
Okay, but tying it back in, that's
to
also
healing.
The whole law of attraction.
Yes.
What you put out, you are going to receive. So the woman that is pouring the grits on someone else who gets burned, that is karma, and that is something that I have always believed in. Like, I'm not going to do.
See the video of the woman who was trying to burn the dude's car?
Oh yes,
it blew up.
Yes. Damn. Skid that Billy D.
Do you know they arrested that woman? By the way,
that's stupid. Do not ever let some man get you that crazy. Like, no one, seriously. We are divine feminine creatures.
What time are we on? I'm gonna tell you.
Almost an hour.
Okay, so I have allowed that to happen to me before. I've allowed myself to go someplace. All right, to act a fool. I actually had a friend in college. I climbed into a boyfriend's window in college. I had my friend down there putting her hands together, boosting me. Yeah.
I'm sorry,
don't think I haven't been through the same predicament.
I will not help you in your foolishness. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I'll see you in the morning.
The fool, that was a very long time ago, but wisdom, experience. I wouldn't do that shit again.
All right, let me finish this card.
Yes.
So, outside of forgiving, in order to heal, you must see the light in all. And so for me, like, seeing the light in all is being able to recognize, like, the good in people, like the genuine pureness, innocence, or just like, I don't even know how to describe it, just like,
there's divinity in people.
Yeah.
See, understand that everything exists in all of us, the dark and the light. So when you look at it like that, knowing that even though this person may be standing up for you, acting full of darkness, know that there is some divinity in them. And sometimes, like, you can choose to see that, but it's okay to walk the hell away if they don't see it and embrace it. But know that it exists in them just as it exists in you.
Yep. And then remember that love has no boundaries, and sometimes you have to love yourself more than someone else. And I think oftentimes, and this includes me too, honey, I can put myself out there, baby. I don't mind.
This was a good lesson for me. Like,
man, I'm still learning, you guys. I have not perfect. You say yesterday.
Yesterday, I was like, oh, I actually love me more. Oh shit, like, I'm for real okay with this. Yeah, y'all. That's a process. But it's fun.
I'm almost there. I'm not quite there. But I'm getting there. But once you get to that point where you remember that love has no boundaries, sometimes there are going to be some occasions where you're like, you know what, I'm sorry, but I love myself more. Like, I love myself more than the sex.
Love. The connection.
I love myself more than, being able to live this lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. I love myself more than trying to keep an image up for other people who have nothing to do with how I live my life. Because, baby, what you eat don't make me shit.
Right.
And what I eat ain't in your toilet. So
exactly.
We got to make our own decisions. All right. Time. Let's see how we did. How did we do, y'all? We tried to keep this to an hour, seriously.
At an hour and 3 minutes.
Okay. So, thank you. I want to quickly say, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the blog at 2 Queens Crystal Things on Instagram. You can follow Christie at Christie R. Edwards, and that's CHRISTIE.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. R. Edwards. And she has a crystal healing business, and she is a crystal healer, and the baby will get all up in your energy and help you clear that mess right on out. And let's see what else.
I'm gonna take the mic. So Mia, you can find her on Instagram at Wings Unleashed 444. You know those are angel numbers. Wings, WINGS, Unleashed, UNLEASHED 444. And she does coaching. Although I mean it might be life coaching, but it's also like spiritual coaching. And I've worked with her. And Akashic record readings, and she's an amazing reader too, like amazing. 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 But you can follow her on Instagram. But yes, we do have, things outside of this podcast that we do to help others, and shout out to those who have reached out to us because of the podcast. Thank you for your support, and thank you for trusting us.
And guys, we're here for you because we and most importantly, we remember our why. Our why is knowing they're going through the process, the awakening, the journey, and not knowing where to go and not knowing who could understand, and just being able to have some type of reprieve. That's why we say we're your spiritual girlfriends. That's what we're here for. We want to hear from you. What do you want us to talk about? What do we can come back to anything. We are we're excited about this. This is a labor of love, and it feels good to do this. So feel free to ask us questions, and you can reach out if you have something that you would like us to discuss. Please email us at info@2queensandcrystalthings.com, and the 2 is spelled out TWO. Again, that's info@2queensandcrystalthings.com. Okay, Christy, come on, close us out, girl.
All right, so until next time, beautiful people. I'm sorry, it's the sangria. I'm gonna blame the sangria. She's over here doing like flash dance stuff. But until next time, you amazing, beautiful, and supportive, loving people, light, peace, love, and soul.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Love you.